Most of the hiking trails in the Huachuca Mountains started off as mining roads, and today's hike at the top of Carr Canyon is no different. The whole area at the top of the canyon was filled with sawmill and mining activity starting in about the 1880s. But in order to get up there, first there had to be a road. And James Carr is the man who built that road. And who, of course, the canyon was named after. The road was called the Huachuca Mill Toll Road, and it had a slightly different route than the one that takes you up there these days. In 1881, Mr. Carr bought the sawmill that was here, cutting down and processing huge pines. His teams of oxen and mules then headed down the road with lumber and ore to sell in the boom towns of Tombstone, Fairbank, and Bisbee. I'm meeting up with some Huachuca Hiking Club friends, and we're hiking on 4 former mine roads that are now trails. Carr Peak, Old Sawmill Spring, Hang Glider, and the Reef Historic Trail. It's a pain in the neck to get up to the Ramsey Vista Campground where we're starting our hike today, but it's worth it. I was going to try to point out various mines along our hike.
At the junction with Old Sawmill Spring Trail, we're going to take Old Sawmill Spring.
But I quickly realized that the video would just turn into me saying, there's a mine right there, and there are several right down in that gully. And look, more mine tailings. So I'm just going to say, there are more mines drilled into this mountainside than you can shake a stick at. You can see them almost everywhere you look. That said, there's not much to see along this section of the Carr Peak Trail because the mines are mostly hidden behind brush down in the gully below the trail, or are farther along the trail after we've already turned off of it onto the Old Sawmill Spring Trail. I suppose back in the mining days, Sawmill Spring was a reliable source of water. It was dry the last time I was here, but these days it's usually dry. About halfway down the road, you begin to see it getting wider and rockier, evidence that it was a road. Right at the Old Sawmill trailhead, you can see where there were a couple of mines in the hillside. The sawmill must have been right around here too. Of these 4 trails, Forest Road 5793, aka the Hang Glider Trail, is the one that's most obviously an old road. That's because it's still an old road, used occasionally by the Forest Service. In less than half a mile, you'll see remnants and tailings piles of the exposed reef mine, the largest and longest lasting of the mines in this area. There was a mill that processed ore here. Lead, mercury, cyanide, and other noxious chemicals were involved in the process. Use your own judgment, but personally, I stay out of tailings piles, and there are lots of them here. Mining ended in the 1950s, and about 20 years later, a different activity was taking place: hang gliding. People drove up here and launched themselves off these cliffs. There were at least 4 deaths over the years, the last one in 1997, I believe. Using it as a launch spot is no longer allowed, but the name Hang Glider Trail has stuck around. And then it was on to our last trail, the Reef Historic Trail. The Reef Townsite Campground's name says it all. There was once a small town of 50 to 100 people at what's now the campground. The trail starts at the back of the campground and is less than a mile long. There are terrific interpretive signs along the way describing what was once here. If by chance you were wondering what became of James Carr, the canyon's namesake, by 1887 he had sold his sawmill and the toll road, as well as his properties in Fairbank, Bisbee, and Tombstone. He continued working in the mining industry in the Southwest and is buried in Sonora, Mexico, where he died while on a mining trip.
Yeah.
Remnants of the bill lie several hundred feet west.
As for us, after this 5-mile hike on 4 different trails through 70 years of mining history, we headed in various directions back to our cars and called it a day.
See ya. Bye.
Whether it's for the hiking or for the history, I really hope you have a chance to get up to this area and see it for yourself, and that you find it as interesting as I do. And I'll see you on the next hike.